Well, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasch Fahrbach. Polish parcel locker operator InPost will be acquired by a FedEx and Advent Bank consortium in a €7.8 billion deal. Now, while the partnership promises European expansion and access to global logistics expertise, it highlights a broader pattern of domestic firms entering international networks like Solaris and Vettel, sparking debate over national ownership in key strategic industries. We'll now analyze these implications with Maciej Witucki, president of Lewiatan Confederation, one of Poland's biggest and most influential business and employers organizations. Welcome back to TVP World.
Hello.
So the first reaction, as we mentioned here, other companies in Poland, Solaris, Vettel, have gone down a similar route, foreign ownership. Is this a natural part of a Polish company scaling? Is it show some kind of weakness? What's your take here?
Well, I think it's not natural. We have different paths. We have some of those companies developing independently. Maspex Group in the food industry is a good example, buying across Central Europe mostly. InPost was already owned in a big part by the foreigners, listed in Netherlands, then large part of the shareholding being kept by FPP, so by the Czech holding. The most important for me is somehow the headquarters location and the spirit of the company. And the company is Polish. It was created more than 20 years ago by Rafał Brzoska. Rafał Brzoska stays as a CEO. That's the message from this transaction. His personal ownership goes up, if I'm not wrong, from 12 to 16%. So there's kind of Polish anchor and the Polish roots are underlined. And then the innovation is there, because even if they are being somehow the fact that the big US operator bought them, for me it's a sign of I would say respect and somehow the geographical superiority of this Polish/European entity, so that the Americans had to buy in rather than to build their own structures. So you can see it from different angles. InPost already was owned mostly by foreigners, but it's a Polish company, and we are proud to have this brand expanding across Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and talking about that expansion now, I mean, if we're looking at this, some could say this is a big exit in a way, a European tech exit. Is this just now limited in this, or do you see other companies potentially in Poland or around the region also now exiting in a similar fashion?
Well, just speaking about Americans, I think that the turbulent times across the Atlantic is a good sign to have Americans investing in Europe, one additional element. So keeping those links and somehow appreciating the European know-how, because InPost, it's a leading company in Europe with their technologies, with their apps, because it's not only about those automatic lockers they develop now in the UK, in France, big players in those both countries. So somehow they have been capable to build market share in Europe. It was appreciated by FedEx. I hope there will be a transfer of technology towards US. So we hopefully will see FedEx lockers in the United States powered by InPost. It's already not this bad for us, knowing that our economy, it's free economy, is only 35 years old. So yeah, we would love to have more 100% Polish companies going abroad, but it's a Polish brand. It remains under the Polish control. It will pay taxes in Poland, not a small deal. And then again, these technologies have been developed in Warsaw, in Poland. I don't believe that the R&D of InPost, there's no information, but they will move across the Atlantic. So we will still be the heart of innovation of this consortium between FedEx and InPost. So not bad.
All right. You're saying, I mean, there's certain IPO included there. I mean, there's now a bigger network as it expands, included in FedEx as well. But anyway, I mean, looking at some of the challenges it now faces, as you said, that there's now new ownership. I mean, Brzoska remains as CEO. As you said, the stake is there. And how influential will he be, and how influential has he been to the success of this company?
Oh, he was absolutely the founder and the father of the success of this company. So even with this, his shareholding, because again, with all the actions he's doing the last 12 months, especially on this deregulation of the Polish economy, and in this deal or collaboration with Prime Minister Tusk, exactly a year ago, people thought that he's 100% owner, which is a sign of to which extent Rafał Brzoska is somehow an active face of the company. So I don't believe that he will now step down, staying a pre-retired person with 16%. No, he will be running the company, and Poland will be the source of the innovation, hopefully not only for the zone of Europe, but also bringing some European and Polish innovation to the US.
But on that, I want to dig a little bit into that, because we mentioned some other companies. Some may not be aware of this. If we're looking at Wedel, confectionery, if we're looking at another big retail one, Biedronka, Żabka, Solaris, that's in transport, buses, Zelmer and home appliances. Various different countries now own these Polish companies. If we look, as you said, this economy 30 years old, 30 plus, I mean, is this encouraging? Is this, let's say, a liability? Why do so many of these sectors scale out and have foreign ownership?
I'm staying realistic. Again, our economy, our free economy is 35 years old. So we already have some companies, 100% Polish, going abroad. And for a long time, somehow the problem of Polish economy was that it was so good and so big, then the companies have been rather concentrating on the local market. And a few of them went abroad. So again, example of Maspec. We have had also the companies in transportation going abroad. So InPost quite rapidly tried to test the Central Europe. Then it was already supported by private equity, and then went together big time to France, big time to the UK, not being anymore 100% Polish, but being a Polish brand, and again, a Polish R&D. For me, the most important is that we will have Polish brains developing their apps, developing their services, so hopefully building this R&D added value in the country.
But I mean, also looking at this impact for other companies. I mean, if we probably go, and I'm just from your experience, if you look at what is the Polish brand, you'll probably get different answers. So what do you think? What drives us? How can more companies emulate what InPost is doing? Where's the formula here in your mind?
For me, the most important is that we stay as much as possible within Europe. So because again, we have to build the mass of the European economy. So whenever we stay in the M&As in Europe, it's important because it builds our somehow sovereignty of the region. Very important. Now we have new opportunities. As I said, Polish companies suddenly discovered that there is a lot of markets outside. So despite of the kind of so-so behavior during the Mercosur votes of the Polish politicians, there are big markets to gain in the South America. When you've seen some reports on the Mercosur, sorry for changing of subject for a while, Polish, German, and Dutch economies are the three best suiting the needs of the Mercosur zone. So I hope there will be more Polish companies now, not only staying in the country and moving towards Europe, but also discovering new markets. It's a good moment. Means we developed inside for 35 years. Now it's a time to use this golden age of Poland to go abroad with partners like InPost, with FedEx, or our own as others are doing.
But at the same time, if we look at this investment cycle, Advent, PPF, I mean, as you said, with the CEO still controlling about, 16% of the share, but nevertheless, there's that group involved now. We've seen that before. How likely is it that, I don't know, in another, let's say, year or two, we'll have another investment cycle, these partners will sell out, that'll change that dynamic where, that might be a loss for Poland. How likely is this, and how much of a risk is that?
I think it's always exists in the free market and free economies. For me, there's a difference between some of the brands you quoted. So food industry, if you produce chocolate or whatever, drinks, or even buses, it's an assembly business or it's a food business. Here, it's a lot. The strength of InPost, it's not about the number of minivans they have. It's about the smoothness of the application, the integration of the apps, the automatization of the processes, all those great innovations they brought in this small business of parcels, which is probably the smoothest now on the Polish market, at least across Europe. And this innovation part, we will continue to train brains and to build the I would say R&D added value across the InPost universum. That somehow it's important because it creates the youth for the next adventures.
But then also, if we're looking at investment to Poland, let's scale it out as well. We've seen big companies invest. Look at Microsoft, you name it, big tech hubs looking into Poland. But at the same time, where do you see the most potential for Polish firms? And we hear a lot about these plans. You mentioned Mercosur. Let's throw in also brand Poland for G20, etc. Where do you see those sectors that really have that IPO potential right now?
I think what we have today, it's still our traditional agro-food industry. we are quite good on it. On the transformation of food, we can and we should use this neighborhood of Ukraine, hopefully in peace as soon as possible, and then be the transforming element of the goods coming from Ukraine for sure. Well, we have growing potential in the defense industry, so not only the state monopoly but also private companies like WB Electronics. So those are companies, again, in collaboration with our European, if possible, Ukrainian partners, to build Polish champions across Europe at least.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, I mean, as you said, this is something that does power brand Poland, although there may be some who might challenge that, but we'll have to see. It's a big news on the markets. Thank you so much, Maciej Witucki, there coming in for us, showing that from the Lewiatan Confederation. Thanks.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. That concludes World Talks, but stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.